Item 1 for admission.
Sir, I'm filing an affidavit in opposition in the matter today. So
It's not on record.
not on record.
It's stated by Mr. P.J. Phukan, Land Council for the Guwahati University, that the affidavit in opposition had been filed today and it is not on record. List along with the said affidavit.
I am praying for fixing a date. I am out of service.
Obliged. Most of it.
Item 2.
Yes, Mr. Mohanto.
In this case, Lordship, I have applied for the post of assistant professor Assam Lordship.
Today, what is to be done, Mr. Mohanto? Can we
My
hear
lord,
it?
so many dates have gone, my lord. The BTC is yet to file the affidavit. My lord,
And-
we perused the last.
Who appears for the BTC?
Lordship, can we peruse the last order,
No,
Lordship?
who appears for the BTC?
Last chance was given, Lordship.
B. Chaudhary.
B. Chaudhary. In spite of last chance, Lordship, otherwise pleading is complete.
Can you hear the matter without BTC?
Yes, Lordship.
My lord, I will be relying on.
Because he
is
will be
right.
prejudiced. He will
certain
like it, I
guidelines
know.
which they have to affirm.
Who appears for BTC?
B. Chaudhary. Ram Chaudhary appeared.
Just ask for him.
Only question is, Lordship, there was preference what was there, so BT is necessary. Preference will be given to the BTAD candidate. Therefore, he is relying. Otherwise, the case is settled, Lordship.
Preference.
Preference, I
And
am,
also, my lord, PhD is required in a department. That guideline is there. That's why the BTC.
No, see, if you are ready, I can hear you. I have no difficulty. But you
Ultimately,
take your call.
it will
Yes,
boil down to Mr. Chaudhary.
Yes, Mr. Chaudhary, in spite of several opportunities, no affidavit, last opportunity is also over. Now what to do?
Lordship, they have given something and I have returned it for some
No,
clarification.
no.
Lordship.
What is beyond last opportunity?
Lordship, they
No,
have,
beyond last opportunity, what is
Lordship, I
there?
can't say public, it's a failure on my part, Lordship, I would say.
Who is to file the affidavit?
Lordship, it will be Director of Education.
We have noticed that in spite of several opportunities given to the respondent and BTC to file the affidavit is not on record. By the order 24/2023, it was provided that the opportunity given would be the last opportunity. In spite of that, it is noticed that the affidavit is not filed. List on so and so.
Lordship,
It is directed that the affidavit would be on record before the next returnable date. And in the event the affidavit is not there, the director of BTC to remain personally present. Tell him, either affidavit or
Yes,
the
Lordship.
person.
And that is-
4th October.
obliged.
Item 3.
May it please, Your Lordship.
My lord, the other side,
Can we hear it today?
my lord, it can be.
Who appears? A.M. Dutta for,
My lord,
A.M. Dutta is with you. Yes. M.J. Ahmed.
my lord, they intimated me, they are stuck on traffic jam. So my lord, after some time, we lost. Obliged.
Item 4 for orders.
Mr. M.J. Mujumdar.
Lordship,
I is for what purpose?
for vacating the stay order, Lordship. This matter is about the constitution of SMDC of school, Markula High School. Lordship decided similar matter on 12th of this month. We are rising
Where
from the
is the
same record.
affidavit of the deputy commissioner? Mr. Saikia Land Council, we have praised for further 2 weeks' time. Where is the
We
affidavit?
have not received instruction from the deputy commissioner.
Ask the deputy commissioner to remain personally present if he is unable to give instruction. Mr. Saikia, a court proceeding cannot be held to be a ransom by one deputy commissioner by refusing to provide information. And mind you, this is not the first opportunity given. It was more than one opportunity is already given.
On the 30/38/2023, my lord, I have communicated. with
It
the
doesn't
commissioner,
matter.
my lord.
It is stated by Mr. P. Saikia, Learned Counsel for the Deputy Commissioner Gwalpara, that in spite of being communicated, the instruction for filing the affidavit is not made available. Deputy Commissioner to remain present on so and so. What is to do? You show us your communication. It is noticed that the Deputy Commissioner Gwalpara had been informed by the learned additional senior advocate by the communication of 2/1/2023, which was again repeated by the communication dated 8/8/2023, and again on 31/8/2023, the learned junior government advocate had communicated to the Deputy Commissioner.
My lord, prior to that, my lord,
It is
another-
noticed that the Deputy Commissioner was also informed by an email dated 8/8/2023.
prior to that, my lord,
Prior, it is noticed, it is been put on record that prior to that,
I don't know.
the Deputy Commissioner was earlier communicated by the communication dated 22/12/2022 of the additional senior government advocate. All the communications are produced by the court, and the learned State Council is requested to make it available on the next returnable date. Deputy Commissioner to also show cause as to why contempt proceeding should not be initiated against him for willfully defying the orders of the court.
Lordship, may I pray
List
one
on so and so. What else to do?
list, date that.
Date, you will get it. Ask him to come prepared for contempt. He will file affidavit. He'll also show cause why for the last 1 year he is defying every communication.
My lord, may I pray for your order of
A
this?
copy of the order to Mr. P. Saikia. See, somewhere down the line,
My lord,
if you cross the prohibited line, courts have to be more strict. There's no other way out. There's no reason why, in spite of 5 communications, the man will not respond. One communication he understand, maybe he was the.
must be.
Item 5,
My lord, I am appealing for response number 5, my lord.
Want to file affidavit?
My lord, yes, 3 weeks time, my lord, on the last officer instructed.
You are Hazarika.
Yes, my lord.
Mr. S. Hazarika, Learned Counsel, Response 5, praise for
3 weeks time.
3 weeks time to file affidavit. Okay.
Lord, I have one prayer, my lord. Because so far response number 4 is concerned, my lord, I was directed to take steps, my lord.
Response number.
Response number 4, my lord. That is the headmaster of this.
You appear for 4. Who appears for 6?
I have to take step, my lord.
The petitioner to take steps on respondent 4 by registered post as well as by dusty method through the registry report and therefore file affidavit. Yes, Mr. Sharma? Down to liquor for 6 affidavit. And State Council, Mr. Sharma, Education Department, same.
Deeply obliged, my lord.
Interim is there. That may kindly be continued.
Sorry,
Interim.
it was there, interim. Earlier interim order, if I need to continue.
Deeply obliged.
item 6 for hearing.
Yes, Mr. Sorry,
My lord, I am appearing for the private respondent. And the so far.
who
complaint is concerned,
appears for the appellant?
My lord, I have informed you that we are going to make a prayer for adjournment of this matter. That's why perhaps he is not appearing. My lord, Mayor, your lordship,
Why did you think that a 2017 matter will be adjourned merely on a prayer? Why did you perceive that Your adjournment will be granted only merely on being asked.
My lord, just I intimate him that we are going.
And why did the learned counsel for the appellant believed you that the adjournment will be granted,
Yes,
so he will
that-
not
that
come to
can-
the court?
That can, he should appear, lordship.
No, we'll write none appears for the appellant. We can't do anything else.
My lord, our problem is that Miss R. Chaudhary is appearing in this case, but she is suffering from viral fever, lordship, from yesterday.
Archody was here yesterday.
Yesterday, she was there. After that, lordship,
We can hear the other counsel. There are many number of counsel.
otherwise, lordship, we have some urgency in this case also. That's
Sorry. Both doesn't go hand in hand, adjournment and urgency. If you have urgency, you argue. If you want adjournment, we don't know when it will be listed. No,
Yes,
we are not going to fix any date.
in the last hour, she was in trouble.
Understand?
Absolutely.
So let her recover, make application to the registry for listing, we'll list it.
My lord,
It is stated that MSR Chaudhary learned counsel for respondent number.
my lord, so many respondents.
No, R Chaudhary for which respondent?
My lord,
It
I
cannot
am
be so
along
many.
with R. Chaudhary, lordship.
Sorry,
I am along with R. Chaudhary, lordship, respondent number 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2,
There are-
and 3 is unwell and therefore the matter be adjourned. Adjourned is paid for
Next,
without any fixed date. Next item.
my lord, we have three, lordship, on 21. lord.
Sorry, never, no.
List again.
21 will hear somebody else who wants the matter to be heard, not the people who wants adjournment.
Any date.
You make an application to list, they'll list it. That's why you are just.
Item 7,
Yes, item 7, what is this?
Lordship, the petitioner, who is a postgraduate, has in arts, has been teaching in Department of Philosophy in Mahavendra Sharma Girls College.
No, now it's okay. Today, what is to be done? Respondents have filed their counter.
They-
affidavit, we
In
list
the
the
affidavit,
matter.
they have stated that they are sent for verification of the certificate of the petitioner.
Are you ready? Can you hear the matter?
This,
Mr. Das, we want only one word, yes or no.
otherwise, this matter can be argued, my lord. But the thing is that
Mr. Das, we want only either of the two words, yes or no. If it is yes, we'll hear you completely. If it is no, we'll adjourn it. You take your call.
no, may I, my lord, submit?
But
This
we,
affidavit, my
but we cannot hear those conditional submissions. You take your call. If you are ready with the hearing, we'll hear you. If you are not ready, we'll adjourn it.
my lord, this report is pending, so let that be come.
So cannot be heard.
Yeah.
Adjourn of
Cannot
the
be
prayer,
decided.
Mr. Ayaz, past and standing counsel for a higher education department.
Or if I may make one submission, my lord. My lord, the report from Magad University has to come, my lord, as they have not provided the.
It is stated that a report from the Magad University is required for the purpose which is not available as yet.
Yes, my lord.
Lordship, they may be fixed. Lordship. Let me respond it.
Date. When will the report from Magad come?
Or, my lord, they can implement Magad University if they desire, my lord.
We have no jurisdiction over Magad University.
No, they can implement because
No. Magad University can be implemented only when they are a necessary party. Meaning thereby, we cannot pass an order in their absence.
yes,
And they are likely to be affected. But here, how Magad is a necessary party? They will come and ask for cost to be imposed on the petitioner. Unnecessarily drawing them in Guwahati High Court, they have to come from Magad. They will ask for cost.
the petitioner has,
He relies on some certificate of Magad.
yes, my lord.
Question
So,
is on the authenticity of that one.
We have written letters, my lord.
You write to the UGC that Magad is not responding, please help us. What to do?
For UGC, my lord.
Or else you file the writ petition in the Patna High Court, directing Magad University to give you the information.
I will ask the authority, my lord, to send another reminder, my lord.
Do whatever you
Can
do.
be done.
Yes, we give
Otherwise,
enough time.
otherwise this matter cannot be decided.
4 weeks for video. I said, no, I said, no.
In fact, Lord,
Personal appearance.
Lordship, we have approached the Magadh University whether any communication has arrived.
We have already called the next item.
Timing item 3.
You asked the petitioner to go to Magadh and get your information.
4 weeks. Sorry, Your Lordship.
Yes. IE. We are taking up IE or the writ petition? No, we are taking up the writ petition or the IA.
IA for vacating,
Sorry,
for vacating interim order.
you are the applicant.
My lord, I am the
Petitioner.
I'm
You are
the
for the
petitioner.
writ petitioner.
No, he's for the petitioner.
Since your lordship will be hearing the entire
No,
matter,
I don't know. As you,
the entire
as
matter,
convenient to
my lord,
both of you.
possibly the entire matter can be heard. Matter is very small, my lord. The point of law is very small.
Who appears for the writ petitioner?
My lord, we are appearing for the writ
Writ
petitioner.
petitioner, you are for the I.
Now, a writ petitioner, my lord, she was appointed way back on 3/1/1994 as an demonstrator on ad hoc basis. And your lordship will find
In some college.
in my lord Brahmaputra Valley Fertilizer Corporation Limited Higher Secondary School is a government of India undertaking at Namru. Now, what they did, well, initially they used to give the appointment for 6 months. So that way they will show some backs and they continued for last 30 years.
The gap of how much, how many days?
Well, it's something 2 days, 3 days like this. And as a
I think
lordship,
there is a judgment of the Supreme Court
Yes, yes.
regarding Kendriya Vidyalaya.
exactly,
Kendriya Vidyalaya used to do that earlier.
my lord, the appeals court says you cannot.
No, it's a, Supreme Court said is deemed to be a continuous.
Yes, my lord, exactly. And if it is under any scheme, when the scheme is over, then my lord, you will have to give up. But it's not a question of scheme here. The higher secondary school is a permanent school. So therefore, that scheme will not work out. And the lordship is already well aware. Nihal Singh case decided back in 2013.
That the KV matter.
Yes, my lord, that he was a police guard in a bank. Now, there, my lord, their lordships has had.
Oh, that Nihal Singh, Justice Chalameshwar.
Justice Chalameshwar is still holding the field.
Hmm.
And his lordship has said, if you haven't created a post, it is your fault because
Sanction posts don't fall from heaven.
Yes.
I think that's the
Very-
expression used by the Supreme Court.
right language have been used. It never falls from heaven. You will have to create it. You will have to approach in a reasonable manner. If there is a need of the post, you will have to make the choice according to the system relevant there. Now, in a school, my lord, in a higher secondary school, you need these people and you have engaged them for long 30 years. Now, can you extract their services for all the time to come? And when the times of regulation has come, you say no.
Brahmaputra Valley is in existence for last 30 years.
More than that, my lord, since 64. No? Since
That
19
one in Dibrugarh.
yes,
Namru.
Namru.
Since 2002, earlier it was Hindustan
Oh,
Fertilizer.
that Namru fertilizer.
My lord.
That is converted to Brahmaputra Valley.
Yes, exactly. Earlier it was a Hindustan
Mhm.
fertilizer. Now, this is the position of law, my lord. Now, if you haven't created a post, it is your fault. Now, what they have started, my lord, once in May 2023, they sought to give the services of these teachers in the hand of a contractor. Then we came before your lordships that they are the teachers are having a novel profession. The vocation itself is a novel one. So you cannot tell them whether they are skilled or unskilled or semi-skilled. These are not relevant words so far teachers are concerned. And your lordship is well aware in year 1988 of his court has said
That teachers cannot be said. Where is that communication? One contractor? Where is that communication regarding
My lord,
contractor?
that I'll take your lordship to that. My lord, your lordship may take the read petition. my lord. Read petition at page 54.
54.
Has your lordship got that?
No, I'm reading page 60.
My lord, your lordship will, that NIT, your lordship will find.
No, page 60. Engagement of 35 number of skilled,
Right.
1 number of semi-skilled and 1 number of no skilled teacher. Contractor. Mr. Ahmed, under which provision of law a teacher will be employed by a contractor? No, please show us the provision of law, because teacher, we are not on laborers, skilled or unskilled, to do any work in your factory. We are on teacher. Under which provision of law a contractor can employ a teacher? See, to examine the legitimacy of requiring a contractor to supply teacher, first and foremost, we want to ask from the respondents, under which provision of law a teacher can be employed by a contractor so that the contractor will supply the teacher to in pursuant to a contract. No, because mind you, Mr. Ahmed, employment of teacher is always governed by a set of law. Employment of a laborer is not governed by any set of law. You just employ, you have it with you, you supply them. But tell us one law where an ordinary contractor can employ a teacher as a teacher. Please show us. The respondents in the Brahmaputra Valley Fertilizer Corporation, in response to the communication dated 25/2023, available at page 60 and Annexure 14 to the writ petition, shall provide the relevant. Mr. Chisti, can you remain present for some time? We want you from here also. Although you are for the state, Kikogulu. Relevant law under which an ordinary contractor who is addressed as MSDJ Engineering can employ a teacher so as to supply teachers on a contract basis in person to any contract. We are requesting you, because you are for the education department, can any teacher be employed by any contractor? Mind you, the government can take on contract basis, contractual teacher. That is something different, because the government will assess the capability of the teacher, and then only the terms of engagement is contractual. But can an ordinary contractor ever employ a teacher? Please produce. We have passed the order. List, next page. Mr. Ahmed, please go through the law and tell us next page. Because I have not come across any law where because I, as a private person, can engage a teacher, not employ, to give private tuition to my children. That is something totally different relation. But an ordinary contractor, whether he is engineering or non-engineering, under which provision of law he can employ a teacher so as to supply teachers in furtherance of a contract with any other entity.
Your Lordship fixing a date for that purpose?
Sorry?
Your Lordship is fixing a date for that purpose?
Yes, next week. 26th September.
Can it be on 28th?
28th.
Your Lordship, you will not be here in that period. 29.
29, okay. They can agree that, whichever vote. And after that, what happened? Why is this writ petition filed? This
Now-
is anyway by the time.
Yes, then
on the
this,
way.
my lord, the contractual nature of this system was stayed by this honorable court. This NIT,
No,
my
no,
lord,
no. No, in the writ, what is the relief sought for?
my lord, the prayer in the writ petition, your lordship.
And we'd also like to implead the Ministry of Human Resource, Government of India,
Ministry of Human, yes.
whether they justify that the central government entities can.
Yes, I'll read.
Ministry is otherwise, Union of India is impeded.
No, we want, not that he wants, we want him. For our effective adjudication, we feel that they're a necessary party. Achha, this is for regularization. Okay, we'll.
Yes, yes.
And that tender document,
My-
that is stayed.
Yes,
So you want a vacation of the stay regarding the tender?
Meantime, we have kept that on hold.
No, you better withdraw it.
We have.
Mr. Ahmed, you better withdraw it because see, in my, of course, my experience is lesser in number of years than yours, but still I have not come across a single instance where teachers whose primary job is to give education to the children can be employed by any private contractor. Because why I am saying fundamentally it is wrong, because teachers are subjected to a rigorous selection because they hold the future, our lives of our future generation. They will educate them. They'll not be tightening one screw here and there. So therefore, the teachers recruitment is a very, very stringent procedure to evaluate the capability of the person who will be a teacher. Can a private person ever, or we can think of, will be following a stringent procedure to evaluate the capability of a person to be a teacher and employ them and supply the teachers? So teachers are now made almost like goats and cattle. So you are converting it to that, Mr. Ahmed. Please, we are requesting you, please give a serious thought to it. Everything is not bulldozing through. Everything is not finance. Everything is not saving money in this world. And mind you, these are government corporations. They're having a public responsibility also. It's not a private entity. Please ask your, client.
I'll come back.
It's better with all this.
Apex Court has said, just I'll read two lines, my lord.
Because the consequences we are indicating may be serious on this entity. Maybe a huge cost may be imposed on them. Not to the petitioner, maybe to be deposited in a public depository for doing all this.
In the meantime, we've already decided to cancel anything because pendency of the case. we are
It's
not
a
in it.
better, more wiser decision on your part.
And what your lordship on other last occasion, my learned friend has said that her services have not been extended yet. So she is out of service.
Nothing
So
like
my
that.
lord, in that regard, your lordship may say that they should not be ousted from the job.
In the interim, it is provided that the status quo as regards the service of the petitioner as it stood when they were initially appointed be maintained. Don't play with these teachers.
And they're getting 16,500.
That is another, we'll look into it. If you play with these teachers, you are playing with our next generation. So your school, the children, those class 1 to class 10 children that will be product of that school, see their fate. And are they getting education by this matter? Education true to its term, are they getting any education?
And they are getting education only.
What is the meaning of education, Mr. Amjad Ahmed, then? Let us start the debate. Yes, what is education? Is education just a person from the street coming over and writing a few things on the board and going out? No, education is much, much about that. Please take note. It's not proper, Mr. Ahmed, whatever you say. And it's better you don't try to justify all this and take a corrective measure in the meantime.
We are thinking corrective measures only, we waiting for order of the court.
No, you don't have to wait. You use your own conscience and wisdom and do it.
Then you know,
It's better. It's better. Or else, if we decide, the consequence will be little severe. I'm telling you. If you're waiting for the court, we'll decide it. We'll go to the entire concept of what is education. We'll go to each and every aspect and then determine. We are not just keeping it confined to only the narrow issues. So that this thing is never repeated in this country again by anybody. Unheard of. One DJ engineering, he's more interested in tightening screws here and there, supplying some engineering thing. He will supply teachers for educating the next generation.
We also question them, why have you?
Not only question, you should have given your legal advice, stop it immediately.
They don't stop for it.
Then they'll face the consequence. Tell them, tell your clients, they'll face the consequence. Who is in charge of this entity? Who is in charge? Ask him to remain present on the next day. I think he status come for that.
Let me come back first.
Not come back. Let him remain present. Who is the in charge officer? Who issued this contract?
The one who issued it, they follow
Did that man to get this job in this public sector unit, did he had his education through a teacher who was appointed in this manner? Ask that man. Page 60, who had issued?
DGM HR.
Deputy DGM HR of the respondent to remain personally present on in the court on the next return.
My lord, can it be partnered?
This is serious, Mr. Singh. Normally, we are not so. We don't use these expressions normally, but it's hitting our conscience.
Yeah, I'll get some further instructions.
I think it should hit the conscience of this officer also.
I don't blame him.
Contractor, what is supplied through contracts? A few material articles are supplied. Some skilled, unskilled laborers whom industrial unit finds it difficult to employ on a regular basis and are not required on a regular basis. They are taken through a contractor and they are governed by some set of laws, those Contract Labor Abolition Act and all different kind of labor laws are there for this purpose. Your sheep and goats for your kitchen is supplied. Are teachers also supplied?
Then we don't expect them to do it, but they need, this is policy decision was taken, I'll come to.
Ask them to immediately withdraw it. Otherwise, we are going to maybe issue
We've already withdrawn.
Mr. Ahmed, if you look at the law very seriously, this is also a criminal offense, mind you. Not just a relation between a teacher of the school and the thing. So it may transgress into a criminal offense also. If you look at the law very properly, all the laws. And nowadays, everything is not managing finances. Finance is always a secondary. Primary is the human resources. The quality of the future generation that we are going to have.
They have also annexed the copy of the order whereby this has been kept on hold. We have decided to withdraw it.
We are not very impressed with that. Firstly, why did you think about it at all? That question we want to hear from the DGM. Why did this thought ever come to his mind that like materials and kettles and or some other items I'm going to get supply of teachers now. Why did you think of that concept? That's a primary question.
This school
I'm not-
this
yeah.
school was started by the company for the benefit of the children of the employees.
Very well. Are the children of the
Today-
employees not human beings? Are they a
They should
different
be more-
category of children?
This will be more
That
interesting.
because they are children of our employees, we are entitled to handle them in any manner in this world? I think it's better not go into details. Your people will be in trouble, I'm telling you. It's better. If better sense prevails, it's good for all. Or else we are going to get into the complete detailed hearing and the entire gamut of the law prevailing and see what your consequence comes out.
In LSC 29.
Mr. Ahmed, we know you are
I'm aware.
we are a thorough gentleman, we know. Does your conscience support it?
No, it doesn't. I question them on this. I'll come back to you.
But he will remain present. We want to see that man.
Yes.
Choose any date convenient for both of you.
29th is okay.
29th, okay.
Only if the ministry is made a party, that case may take a little time.
The petitioner to also implead the Union of India through the Ministry of Human Resources as respondent number.
Respondent number 8.
Registry to incorporate necessary correction in the cost title as well as in the CIS system through the aid of the
Siddhant.
you are also as doctor.
Son.
As doctor advocate. Issue notice returnable on so and so on the newly added respondent number so and so. Steps may be taken by serving a copy of the petition upon the learned through the office of the DYSDI.
Presently, this 29th may have to take some time because of that.
No, we shall be taking step tomorrow itself.
He will take it today only, don't worry. And Mr. RKD Chaudhary will be ready to come.
Union of India's councils are plenty.
So don't worry, no delay.
Much obliged.
But please,
No, I will. Definitely.
we are finding it a little unacceptable.
I
Just-
found it a very initial stage.
See, just imagine the country is in the hands of our future generation.
These are
And you will
happening-
educate them through a contractor who will supply teachers.
But these are happening in certain places.
It is happening elsewhere. Where?
I'll place it. Is there?
So therefore, I think we should take a more stricter and broader view that it doesn't happen anywhere. If somebody else is also doing it so that it doesn't happen anymore. The school authority is the owner of the school can employ it. That's a term of employment. We are not on that. But before that, these teachers, whether contractual or casual, or they will be subject to a stringent selection test.
They ought to be.
They have to be, not ought to be. So whether he is fit to be a teacher or not. Why do we have that? Why do you have all these? Why do you have those minimum qualifications? Why do we have such a competition where the post of a teacher comes up? So many applies. The best one is selected. Why? So that the proper education is given to our next. And as you are trying to understand education, it is not so. Education is something much more. We all are here because we got our good education. Your DGM is also there because he got a good education. He otherwise he would not have been. And now he wants to subject the children of his employees. This
Decision is not his, he will find out also.
Find out whosoever it is. Okay, next. Yes, Mr. Saikia, you said something.
There is in communication.
Our order, no, our earlier order remains. Because this is the fifth communication he has made since December 2022. This we don't accept it. Again, extension of time. Why does he want extension of time?
And reason as an unavoidable circumstance. There is no
Nothing is unavoidable. Everything is unavoidable. Means suppose one day the deputy commissioner is not well, say, please, I could not do it. Give me some more time. Or I have some really some serious other work. I could not pay my attention to this. Give me a little time. But not responding for the last 8 months in spite of repeated communication is not unavoidable. Later on, a communication dated 9/2023 from the additional deputy commissioner Golpara had been produced, which again seeks for extension of time for providing the instruction parawise comment to file the affidavit. The same does not serve the purpose in any manner, which is also, the communication is also taken on record. Or nine, SK Goswami, I still think.